What's up guys, I'm 𝔸𝕐𝕠𝕕𝕦𝕔𝕥𝕤. Welcome to my channel. In today's video we're going to be trying out some new products from Fenty. They recently released a new eyeshadow palette, a highlighter palette, some new lip glosses. So if you'd like to see what products I picked up and how these products perform, please keep on watching. Okay guys, we are back. As you guys can tell, I have a battery in my mic today, so hopefully everything is going perfectly and you guys can hear me. I told you guys in my last video that I hate doing voiceovers, but that one didn't do too bad, so I guess depending on my mood from here on out, I'll probably do a few voiceovers. You guys let me know down below, what do you prefer? Do you prefer me sitting down and talk to you guys as I go, or the voiceovers? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first product we're trying out is the Fenty Soft Matte Pro Filt'r foundation. I mean, I've done reviews on this foundation before, and honestly speaking, I did not like it. When I first bought my foundation, it was before they did before they extended the shade range, so I was matched at 370. Every time I went to get shade matched, I could never find a color that looked good on me. But now with the shade extension, I like 385 more on me. I still don't think it's a perfect match, but it looks good on me. So I picked up the mini of 385 and we're gonna try this out today. But now that I think back at when I tried this foundation, I didn't properly know how to wear a matte foundation. And what I mean by that is I used to wear like a mattifying primer and then put on matte foundation on top of it. Like, that didn't work out for my skin. It just made me look rough and scaly, and then for the foundation being a little too light in the wrong undertone, it just made me look crazy. So now that I know to moisturize my skin and use a nice moisturizing primer on my skin, I'm hoping for the best with this, because I did not like this foundation at all. Okay, so I just put on a moisturizer and let's see what primer. And we're going to be using the Milani Glass Skin Primer. I've been liking this a lot lately. I really love how it looks under my foundations. If you're using a foundation that doesn't really help with your oily skin, I would suggest to use a oil controlling primer in the places that you get oily. For me, it's my T-zone, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so this is the component. It has 0.4 fluid ounces in here and it's only $15. I mean, it's not a lot in here. It's almost half the amount that you would get if you paid the full price. But if you're trying it out, I think this is a good idea. I wish I would have just spent $15 instead of buying the $40 bottle when it first came out. So it is a bit liquidy, and from what I remember, this foundation does need time to oxidize. So when you put it on, it's not going to be the exact shade, but after a while it kind of warms up to your skin. I mean, this is looking good so far, because like it looks a little orangey, but like as I'm putting it on, I'm liking the way it looks. Okay, so here it is with one layer. It's looking good so far. It is a pretty matte foundation. Usually with the concoction that I did underneath this foundation, I could still see a little glowiness in my skin, and it looks matte. It looks very matte. I'm going to go ahead and put on a little bit more in like the areas that I could still see, like my acne scars. Okay, so here it is with the other layer. I feel like it's doing a lot better with covering things. I'm not too mad at the color either. I think it looks pretty good. It's not too much of a difference between my face and my neck, at least in person. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and speed through the rest of my makeup until it's time to talk about the eyeshadow. For the most part, I'm going to be using Fenty products. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into the eyeshadow. So this is the Fenty Bomb Posse Mega Mix and Match eyeshadow palette. It comes with 12 shades. I feel like the color story is gorgeous. I'm not sure about all the shades, but I do see some familiar names like Fussy, Fenty Glow, Hot Chocolate. I was thinking of like having like a pink lid and a warm crease, but we're gonna see how that goes. When I first saw the palette, it did remind me of the other 6-pan shadows that she released. Let me see if I could find it. So the cool thing about these shadows is that there's like 7 of them, and you could buy them, mix and match them, and snap them together to create like one palette. So I already had number 1 and number 3. I actually really like this palette. It's just that I don't reach for it often, and looking at them I feel like they're pretty similar. Like, yeah, the shades are very similar. Let me see if they have the same names. Yeah, the names aren't the same, but the colors look very familiar. And I think, oh, so you can take this palette and snap on the smaller ones in the back. That's cool. Yeah, so that's cool that you could do that. Yeah, super cool. And then you could have this palette in the back. So I'm sure in the future she's going to come out with more palettes and you guys could snap them together. This is like super cool for traveling, but the most important part is how these shadows perform. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the way I film my videos now, I like to take video recordings of the palette and swatch the palette before I sit down and do the reviews, because I like the palette to look like absolutely pristine for the videos that I initially record of the palette. So when I swatched this palette today, some of these shades are super hard to swatch, and sometimes just because it doesn't swatch well doesn't mean it's not going to look good on your eyes, but it was hard to swatch and I don't like that. And then right after I swatched this palette, I swatched another palette and it was so easy to swatch. Yeah, I don't know, because I did like these, but let's see how they perform on my eyes. I'm not doing anything too extravagant today. I just want to see how these shadows perform. So we're gonna start off with a crease shade. We're gonna start off with this shade right here. Okay, that's looking good. Now we're gonna go in with this shade right here. Like, I didn't mean to do this shape, it just happened by itself. So we're just gonna go with it. I changed my mind about going in with pink, so I'm gonna use this bronze shade right here on my finger. Yeah, like under my nails look absolutely crazy from foundation, but it doesn't even pick up that much when you swatch it, and it's not like a buttery or a creamy shimmer shade either. Okay, eyes are done. Now we can go ahead and get into the Diamond Bomb Triple Dip All Over Diamond Veil palette. In this palette we have Fussy, Fenty Glow, and Hot Chocolate. I've only swatched this formula. I've never bought one of these highlighters, so this is like honestly my first impressions of how it looks on my face. From what I saw, it's literally glitter with a hint of color underneath. We're gonna use this shade in the middle. It's a nice like creamy formula. Start with the forehead. I don't know if you guys could see that because it's literally glitter. Just a little bit of the pink one on the apples of my cheek. I mean, it adds to that glowy wet skin look, but it's literally glitter. It's a balmy texture with glitter in it, and that's literally what it looks like. I mean, on camera it looks absolutely amazing. It looks really nice, but would I want somebody who's in my face to look at the little specks of glitter on my face? No, I wouldn't, unless it's like on my body, like putting it on my shoulder and on my chest. Yes. Okay, so 3 new lip glosses were added to the lineup, and it's a part of the Heat collection, which has like a little bit of lip plumper in it. The one I picked up is called Hot Chocolate. It's a nice brown color. There's also like a lip gloss version of Hot Chocolate, but it has shimmer in it. This one's just straight color. I don't really like how it smells. Like, it kind of smells like the original, but with something else in it. I'm guessing that's the plumper. Like, I could feel it warming up. I'm looking at myself thinking like, why do I look so weird? And it's because I didn't put on any lashes, so let me go ahead and do that. Okay guys, I'm back, and this is the final look. This is what the skin is looking like. This is the shadow, the lips. I'm not even gonna hold you guys. This lip gloss is spicy. They call it Fenty Heat for a reason, because my lips are throbbing. Back in the days, I used to use the Too Faced lip injection plumping lip gloss. Like, if you like that gloss, you will like this one too. It's one of those lip plumpers that, like, it's kind of intense. You just have to get used to it, and I haven't used one of those in so long, so like I'm suffering a little bit right now, but it looks really nice. That's one thing about Fenty, they kill it with the lip glosses. I feel like that's probably like one of their best formulas, is their lip glosses. So let's go ahead and go into everything that I tried today. Let's look at the skin. It looks really nice, right? While doing my makeup, I did notice that my skin looked a lot drier than it normally does when I use a matte foundation. Like, this one just takes it to the next level. Like, it's amazing for oily skin girls. I'm sure if I was to wear this throughout the day, it would wear amazingly, because I just feel like it needs a little bit of your natural skin oils to like really take it there. I use my Morphe Luminous setting spray, and I feel like that always does the job for me when I have on a matte foundation. It just takes away that cake face, if you know what I mean. So it looks really nice. I'm not mad at it at all. Okay, now to the eyeshadow palette. I was able to pull it off. It doesn't look bad, but I feel like it could be better for the price point. Now looking at it, I paid $48 for that. $48? Like, no. I don't know what I was going through when I placed the order for this palette, but $48 just sounds kind of crazy to me, and that might just be because it didn't perform as well as I thought it would. And I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna go back. I mean, I love the color story of the palette. I know a lot of people is like, it's boring, but I think I'm pretty boring when it comes to like the eyeshadow that I like to wear, and I do think the color story appeals to the average consumer, but the shadow formula isn't that great. The best thing about this palette situation is like that you could mix and match and clip on different palettes. Like, that's the best thing, but it's not worth $48 in my opinion. It's just not. And for the diamond bombs, this is $42. Oh wow, oh wow. Oh wow, let me screenshot that. Okay. So when I first bought this palette, it didn't have that much reviews, and now that the reviews are coming in, like, the eyeshadow palette has 2 stars. Wow, 2 stars. It has 2 stars from 19 reviews. That's not a lot, but 2 stars. No pigment, love Fenty, but this palette is not it. I don't know if I got a bad one or all of them are like this, but when I blend the colors, they almost disappeared for almost. Yeah, I agree. I had a really hard time blending out that dark shade, and then when I would blend it, it would disappear. So that's why it looks like that. Okay, someone says I love it. As soon as it dropped, I grabbed it. It's perfect for the everyday look. And I agree, the color story is really where it's at, but it's not performing for $48. OMG, I was hyped for this palette. I agree what others are saying, that so many shades blend out to be the same. Also, the blend out was chalky. I'm so surprised this got out of quality control like this. I'm returning. I mean, there's more reviews. Sadly, I agree with all of the reviews. Yes, the color story is amazing, but if you've tried other things, especially at a $48 price point, it's supposed to perform better than that. Okay, so back onto the highlighter. That has 3.5 stars out of 12 reviews. Before I get into the reviews, I'm gonna tell you guys my opinion. Initially, when I saw the colors, I was like, yes, I just want to put this all over. But I was totally forgetting that this formula is pretty much glitter. All right, so I dipped my finger into the palette expecting to get a super shiny glow, but nothing, just a very light glitter shine. I wet my brush. Yeah, pretty much. Like, if you don't know that this formula isn't like the typical highlighter, you're gonna be disappointed. Great packaging, terrible product. Absolutely not. This is not, I repeat, not a highlighter. This at best is a light glitter with a very sheer color base. If you love glitter with very little payout, you will love this. This ain't it. Mediocre at best. There is zero color or glitter. You can find much better highlight for half the price. I mean, I didn't expect this video to be like me reading reviews, but I agree with everything that I read today. I am returning my 2 palettes. I will be keeping the foundation, even though I don't see myself picking it up that often. Even though I don't see myself picking it up that often, it never hurts to have a really nice matte foundation. I mean, the color is nice. It was only $15. It'll be nice to travel with, but I'll keep the foundation, but everything else has to go back. There's so many drops for the holidays coming up, and I don't feel like you guys should waste your money on this one. I would kind of wish that I didn't buy it at this point. You guys let me know down below if you tried anything or if you was thinking about picking anything up. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.